So today we're thrilled to introduce a global sensation, a superstar from Hong Kong, China. We think you're a global sensation ready to captivate audiences once again as he prepares to launch his highly anticipated new album, showcasing his remarkable and unique style. It is a great honor to have you here, Jackson Wang. Welcome.
Thank you so much. This is Jackson Wang, and I'm very honored and blessed to be talking with you today. Thank you.
Thanks to you. So you're not just releasing an album, you're building a cinematic universe of identity, chaos, and control. Given that Magic Man 2, it is more than an album, how would you summarize the concept of this project and its significance in your artistic journey?
Magic Man 2, especially this album, is for the first time I'm actually sitting down and taking the time to write songs for myself and also sharing the Jackson Wang that I know versus the Jackson Wang that pretty much the people know. And it's a full journey of emotions from from thinking everything was good until reacting to when things are happening not the way that I thought it would be, into realizing and learning lessons from life, into accepting the reality and moving on with it. So I think it's a journey of growth. And at the same time, I debuted since 19 years old. I've spent more than 10 years in the industry at a young age. So I missed out a lot in my youth. Um, so all this over 10 years, just running into a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of highs, a lot of lows internally and also externally. So that I'm talking about in the album, what is Magic Man, right? And why is the Magic Man looking the way it is? And what happened to Magic Man? So the entire album is talking about that. Um, the brief narrative is how I feel inside. And that inside, it's Magic Man. It's my internal emotions, it's my alter ego. And the way that it looked so dark is because that's how I really felt, in the industry, dealing with reality, dealing with humanity. But I'm over that already. That's why I'm able to write all this down, and every single song is from my personal diaries. Um, yeah, I spent 1 year making over more than 60 songs, but I selected 11 out of everything to represent what I just explained. Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, all the tracks are based on your own diary. Your album is divided into four chapters. Chapter one, Manic Heights. Chapter two, Losing Control, then Realizations. And chapter four, Acceptance. Can you elaborate how each chapter represents in different emotional stage and how it follows a storyline?
I think everyone has their own version of Magic Man and has to go through their own version of Magic Man to grow in life. And Manic Highs is when we think everything was good, everything is completely fine and just living in the highs, right? And chapter two is losing control, and it's when you first come across a situation, you get very emotional in any situation. Your emotional is exploding, right? Whether it's sad, depressed, or like any sort of emotions, right? And then it goes and then goes into chapter three, where it's talking about realization. Is when you calm down and you start to notice something and you start to understand the structure and ecosystem of what reality and humanity in society industry is. It happens to everybody, right? Whether you're working in a school or in an office or in a bank or in a factory, it happens to anybody, everybody. So, and then chapter 4, after realizing a lot of stuff, you pretty much just accept it.
Mm.
Even the good and the bad, you kind of accept it because that's the reality of everything. And you just move on with it and you grow and you mature through the entire process. Yeah, that's pretty much Magic Man 2. And I'm just speaking and making songs. The music just represents what I've been through. And I think everybody has their own version and aspect of that.
That's right. And also, the visuals in this album are quite powerful. You have mentioned that the visuals came before the music in this project. How did this approach influence the overall sound and feel of this album?
Um, I always make music with a visual first. And when I have like a certain picture in my head, then I would, and based off of that, I would produce my music according to that picture. And if the picture is in a forest, or is it on a in a field, or is it in an endless space, but with just a piano, or like it's always from that picture. And whatever that's in my head in that picture, I will get all the clues and information for me to make a certain song. Like, what do I and what am I saying? Right? What is the story? And what do I see in this picture? And I will slowly pull the strings together and execute and start creating my music.
That's beautiful. But you have said that this album isn't about chasing hits, it's about chasing truth. Do you think that when you actually do something from your heart and it feels real, it can end up being a hit, a global hit, even where you're not actively chasing it?
At this point in my life, I never had a hit anyways, you know. So to me, what's important is I really want to make this album what I want to say as a person. And even 10 years, 20 years from now, I can look back and I'm happy that I did it. It's one of the things that I feel like me as a person that I want to do. And also um being honest and vulnerable, uh, authentic about what really happened. And a lot of the songs that I picked out of the 60 plus songs, um, they're the reason why I picked them, it was because it felt real. It felt like I wasn't singing, but I was telling, and I was telling you my story. You know, there are a lot of other songs that sound really, really good, and it's really easy to listen to, but it felt like I was singing. It felt like I was rapping. I felt like I was performing and not telling you as a friend or as a family. You know, so I picked a lot of these songs from 60 plus songs because it wasn't perfect. And what's perfect about it is because it wasn't perfect.
Love that. And which of the lead singles from Magic Man 2, such as High Alone, Give You the Buck, Hate to Love, or Made Me a Man, feel most personally to you? And what themes or emotion do you connect in with in the particular song?
Every single song is really meaningful to me, and it's all from my personal diaries. Um, I think it just represents different moments and different highlights of my entire journey on different things. Some song is about how I feel about people, humanity. Some song is what I think um about the industry, about the society, and that's pretty much High Alone. And because in High Alone, I'm talking about the visuals and also the music, everything as a package. We're living in a society and community and industry that everything is just a show. Everything is business, everything is just a show. And when the show ends, people move on to the next show. and that's why I also feel like that's why we're all alone, and we all die alone. And even if we have a lot of friends, we still feel alone inside a lot of the times. um that's why I also say at the end of the entire Magic Man 2, it's important to love yourself. I feel like with this society we're living in this generation, there's so many informations and a lot of distractions. We're always outputting, but we always don't have time for ourselves to think, to make sure that we know ourselves, what we love, and to even reflect. We don't have the time and we don't have the space to do it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much high and low.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, every single song I just have a different thought on it about how me as a person feel about on certain things. Industry, reality, my parents, humanity, and how I feel when I was going through all these. There's another song called Everything. And in Everything, I talk about all these years, I really gave everything of myself in every opportunity. But why do I feel like I'm still down and empty inside? So that's that song. Um, there's a song
That's
about my parents. There's a song about Made Me a Man is talking about all that's Make Me a Man is the end of my album. It's the end of the last song of my album. And it's talking about all the things that happen, good and the bad, as a package. It's meant to happen. Whatever that happened, it made me myself today. It made me who I am today. It made me a man. So I accepted that and I just moved on with it. So just every single song, there's a moment of highlight within this journey.
that's beautiful. And let's talk about your electrifying song as well, called Buck. The lyrics contain several powerful lines such as "I dream of going all the way to hell to deal with you." Can you share some details about the songwriting process for Buck?
Yeah, and I think that's like chapter two, chapter three transitions because like I was explaining, um, like I was explaining, I felt like when you first encounter a situation, you get very emotional. And when you get emotional, you have all these crazy thoughts. Um, and that happened to one of the moment that I had these thoughts when I encounter betrayal, when I encounter a person that betrayed me, when I encounter people stepping over the boundary too much and using me and taking advantage of me in every way possible, no mercy. That's what I felt in that moment. And that represents the message of that song. And it just purely represents hate in that single and music video.
And how does the creation of Magic Man 2 differ from your previous work, Volume 1?
Magic Man 2 is the explanation of Magic Man 1. What is Magic Man? Who is Magic Man? What does it represent? Why the makeup? And what happened with Jackson and Magic Man?
And you speak four languages: English, Korean, Mandarin, Cantonese. How does this affect your music making, and how do you approach creating albums in Mandarin compared to English? And do you understand Spanish a little bit?
I only know Primo.
Primo. I love that.
No Primo, and I only know Amigo, and then I only know, yeah, some bad words my friend taught me. And yeah, I mean, I speak a lot of languages, but I'm not really good at any of them. Um, it's enough for me to communicate, but yeah, I think also another piece of information is In my dreams, there's no language. I only
I
dream of visuals like pictures and scenes. There's no one really talking.
love that. And with such a large following on social media, you have over 32 million followers in Instagram and billions of views on your channel. What role do you think social media plays in your career?
So blessed and appreciate all the people that's watching my work, and I'm glad. I feel so lucky, and I just hope that. But this and that. I hope it doesn't. It's not the main thing that I'm chasing for. I think it's more honesty and being able to respect my audience, fans, and also share my story to them, and also listen to what their story is, and give them energy and motivation, and take care of them mentally. I think that's a responsibility of what an entertainer should do, and I'm still trying hard to achieve that.
And have you ever felt misunderstood at some point in your life? And do you think that feeling has fueled your creativity or contributed to the themes in this album?
Think as an entertainer or as a artist in the entertainment industry, the good comes with the bad and the bad comes with the good. It's the yin yang, and you can't always have the good. You can't always get flowers, and you have to accept both, and you have to appreciate both, because that's what I think the responsibility of artist and entertainer should be.
Exactly. And in what ways do you hope this album will change people's perception of you as an artist? What is your main goal as an artist?
My end goal is to be able to give energy and give hope and give positive motivations to my audience, because everyone has a hard time. Everyone feels lonely, but I think it's from entertainment what they get. I hope I can give them deep down emotionally that we all go through the same, because we're humans. It's not because of everything else. And happiness is not bought, and happiness is needs to be found by ourselves, not from any external element and etc.
Okay, and to finish, what are you most excited about as you continue to promote Magic Man 2? And what can the fans expect in the future?
I think after Magic Man 2, probably I would maybe start Magic Man 3, but then the character might be gone. Like the character itself might be gone. But how it ends, I think I would reveal it when the album is out on July 18th. And also, I'm very excited to visit Mexico City again. I would love to visit Argentina, Chile, Puerto Rico, if it's possible to, Brazil, all these places, or even like places that I haven't visited any before. Uh, it would be my honor to visit and also be present and being able to share my story to the audience.